We've been talking about the Pixel Fold 2 quite a bit already, and we're going to continue talking about the Pixel Fold 2. So about a week ago, we had this report from Android Authority where they literally had an image, a photo of what was supposed to be the Pixel Fold 2. Now, we were told this was an early prototype, but more often than not, when this type of thing happens, yes, it's possible that this EVT can change before release, but typically that doesn't really happen. There may be some slight differences, but nothing major usually changes. We've also heard that they're going to be going not to the Tensor G3 that is in the Pixel 8, but actually potentially waiting until the Pixel 9 comes out, launching simultaneously and jumping all the way to the Tensor G4. These are big pieces of news. And today, we have even more big news because in collaboration with OnLeaks, yes, that is who it is, we have these CAD-based renders of the Pixel Fold 2, confirming from another source that for better or for worse, this is indeed the design of the Pixel Fold 2. Let's scroll down because we have some new information here first and foremost. When unfolded, the inner screen is 7.9 inches diagonal. Factoring in the corners, the measurement goes up to 8.1 inches. The current Pixel Fold is 7.6 inches. So this thing is significantly larger than the original Pixel Fold. If we come down here, we actually have full measurements somewhere around 155 millimeters by 150 by 5.27. And yes, that does mean this device is only 5 millimeters off from being a perfect square, 5.27 millimeters thick. If we come here to GSM Arena once again, 137, 158, and then 5.8. So it's actually slightly thinner apparently than the current Pixel Fold, but you can see those dimensions have changed quite a bit. You can see on one axis, we're only 3 millimeters actually smaller, yes, but then on the other, we're going to be 10, 11 millimeters larger. This is just simply a larger device, and it almost sounds to me like what you could do, kind of close to this, is you could take the Pixel Fold and just make it taller. Make it about 10 millimeters taller, and you've probably got round about the Pixel Fold 2. Something else mentioned here that I'm really not super happy about is that on the internal screen, we are going to be having an under-display camera with some new sensor that wasn't part of the previous Pixel Fold. No indication of what that is, but we are indeed going from the camera being in the bezel, in the frame, to being underneath the screen. So you're going to see, more than likely, a pretty substantial step back in camera quality to make that trade-off. Some more dimensions here. So 6.4 inches is the cover display. If we come back to GSM Arena, we are 5.8 inches for the cover display. And let's look at the folded dimensions, right? So 139 by 79, and let's come back here, 155 by 78. So it is slightly more narrow than the Pixel Fold currently, and significantly taller than the Pixel Fold currently. As I stated in that earlier video, we are headed very, very dangerously close to OnePlus Open territory. We'll do a direct size comparison at the end of this video because I think it's going to be interesting. So we have some clarification on these camera sensors. What they're saying here is that we have two sort of sensors that are going to help with focusing alongside a camera, ultra-wide, and then a telephoto. And of course, we should just zoom out and take a good look at this device in general. And once again, this looks strikingly similar to the OnePlus Open. I had multiple comments from people saying, that photo is not real, it's a photoshopped OnePlus Open. And I said, we can generally trust Michel Ramon on this stuff. And here we are, double confirmation that this is indeed real. So what I've done here is I plugged the dimensions into this compare sizes website. And what you can see here up front is the current Pixel Fold, and behind that is in green the Pixel Fold 2. Now you may see down here OnePlus Open in blue, and you may be thinking, Shane, where is the OnePlus Open? And the answer is, it is perfectly hidden by the Pixel Fold 2. These two are nearly identical in size. It is an ever so slightly larger OnePlus Open. You can see here thickness as well. They're all very, very close in terms of thickness. We're not going to see like massive changes, but the Pixel Fold 2 is apparently even thinner than any of these. Ignore the fact that this says inches, by the way. That's irrelevant. It's millimeters. But keep in mind, guys, that the Surface Duo 2 was 5.5 millimeters. The original was 4.8 millimeters. There's part of me that just does not believe that can be true. I feel like there has to be something lost in translation there. That is just entirely too thin for me to believe, but whatever. I think the other dimensions are pretty accurate based on the photos that we have seen, and my speculation that this is very, very similar to the OnePlus Open. I think we have really good confirmation of that here. And of course, something else you can see from looking at this, we'll go back to it, is this is no longer a landscape tablet. This thing is no longer wider than it is tall. It is taller than it is wide. So many questions come into play now. The applications on the Pixel Fold that open up in a dual panel layout, are those out the window? Are they gone? Are you going to have to rotate this phone to get that to happen? Is Google going to change their behavior when it comes to these apps and make them go to dual pane when they're on the inner display? These are all things that are going to have to be sort of determined over time. Obviously, there is a ton to discuss on this subject. I am very much sort of back and forth on this thing because personally, I think this is a significant step in the wrong direction when it comes to just the overall aesthetic, the appearance of the device. I think that this looks so much worse than the current Pixel Fold. I do not know why we are abandoning the visor that has become synonymous with the Pixel line. I like that they changed the visor up from gen to gen, right? They've changed the shape, they've changed the cutouts, the way that those work. And with the Pixel 9, we have a cutout that's very similar to the Pixel Fold. So I expected the Fold 2 to look like the Pixel 9, to be like this, but maybe more rounded on the edge. Why are we going to this island on one side of the thing? I genuinely don't know. It's going to wobble on a table when you set it out. Just aesthetically, it's off to the side. It's weird looking. It's big. It's bulky. It's almost like if you took the iPhone's stovetop and somehow found a way to potentially make that look even worse than it already does. I'm not a big fan of this. I think that we are moving in the wrong direction, both from an aesthetic perspective and also from that usability perspective. I really love the fact that this thing is short, that I can reach the top of the screen with one hand. I don't need a one-handed mode, and that is going to be going away because we're going to be effectively just as tall as the OnePlus Open and all of these other flagships that are gigantic. I'm just being unfiltered here. This is what I think. I'm sure that some of you guys and gals, you're going to have thoughts of your own, and I hope that you do share those in the comments down below. But this is where I'm at right now on this one. I would be remiss if I did not mention this, and I'm sure that if I left this out, there would be 1,000,001 comments making this point. Yes, this form factor will be better compatible with more compatible. Does that even make sense? It will be more compatible, better suited for the majority of Android apps in existence. Most apps on the Pixel Fold 2, they are just normal phone apps stretched out really wide, and that doesn't always work well. So in that regard, I get why they're doing this. I just also like my dual panel apps, and I like the wider form factor because when I'm multitasking, I have two apps side by side that are nice and wide. With this, it's going to be more like the Open, where the two apps side by side are good. They're sufficiently wide, but they just aren't quite what I want. There is a link in the description to this article. Go click on it. Go look at some ads on their website because this is some great reporting. OnLeaks does great work, and this is good stuff here confirming the earlier reporting, guys. So let me know what you think about this in those comments down below. Subscribe for more content just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.